Hello, I'm Steve Parker. Welcome to the August episode of the Uxbridge FM podcast. Coming up, we pop into the new Games Cafe in Uxbridge. We find out what's coming up for Halloween and Christmas in the town. We chat to the station officer at Hillingdon Fire Station. Then we've got comedy, poetry and theatre. First off, let's do board games. I have come to the D20 Games Cafe in Uxbridge in Windsor Street, and it's now open. Da da da. Michelle's here from the D20 Games Cafe. Hi, Michelle.
Hi.
You're going to show me round.
Sure.
To show what's going to happen here if you come into the Games Cafe. So, as a customer, you could book online or just turn up.
Yeah, so we do encourage people to book online just to guarantee that you get a table, but we do always try and accommodate walk-ins as much as we can as well.
So I've walked in, there's like a front area, sort of nice cushy chairs. Then you've got a bar, what goes on in the bar?
Yeah, so we serve lots of drinks, coffee, we have a food menu and an alcohol menu, and milkshakes, smoothies. Our milkshakes are really good.
Yes, now you mentioned this before when we spoke about the licence. This is quite amazing. So you could actually buy an alcoholic drink for your opponent, get them drunk, and then beat them. Yes,
but again, we don't advocate spiking people's drinks.
No, of course not. So here's the menu. Give us a little brief rundown of what you serve food and drink wise.
So we're actually an all-vegan board game cafe, and so we've got burgers, salads and Korean bowls and curries and lots of desserts with brownies and cakes and, yeah, something for everyone.
And then drinks-wise, you could go coffee, tea, or juices, and as you say, you've got these smoothies and things.
Yeah, so if you're being a bit healthy, we've got lots of fresh fruit smoothies, as well as slushies and milkshakes.
So you could come here and just eat and drink and not play any games.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Sometimes people do that with our Watford branch as well. People can just come in and eat and drink. And playing games is not an obligation. You don't have to play.
So let's wander down and have a look at what kind of games you can play. There's a whole rack of games. How many games have you got at the moment, do you reckon?
180, I've just been whispered.
180 games?
Yes. So there's a kids section, over 18 section, strategy, party. So if you know what sort of game you want to play that evening, you can go to the right section.
There's chess, obviously.
Yes, so we've got all the classics that you'd expect, as like Operation and Hungry Hippos and chess and all the ones that people have heard of, as well as ones that, are more like the modern hobbyist games.
Yes.
Yeah.
Serious games.
They don't have to be serious. For example, Camel Up is one of our favourites. It's a camel racing betting game, but it's really fun, light-hearted, and we teach it quite often to people, and it's a good laugh. It's not too serious.
And Boggle and Battleships.
Yeah, more classics.
Yeah.
There are more serious games that can take 3 to 4 hours, for example, but they take a lot of table space. So we don't have too many of those here, I don't think, at the moment.
So the concept's quite like a sociable thing, isn't it? Because you could arrange people who come in on their own, perhaps, put them with other people and have a nice social evening of game playing.
So if you check out our website, we have a whole calendar of events that we post up every month. So we have open gaming, where we encourage people to come and play games with each other. So if you don't have a group to play with, you can meet up and join the community of people who are looking for other people to play games. We'll be starting to do things like student nights and other meetups, and we've got meetups for specific games like Magic the Gathering.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So I suppose when Brunel students come back in September, there'll be a big push to try and get them in, maybe.
Yes, we'll be looking forward to welcoming them here.
So if we go to the back room, what's this all about? There's some very interesting decor.
Yeah, so the cafe is sort of based on Lord of the Rings. So this is what we call the Shire. So it's quite echoey in here. So we've tried to make it look like it's straight out of Hobbiton.
Yeah, I love it. There's quite a few more tables in here, surprisingly, aren't there?
Yeah. So this is where you'd want to come if you want to spend maybe a little longer.
Yeah, serious gamers.
Yeah.
Doing their stuff. So the website, we can go on and book stuff. What's the website again?
D20caf.co.uk.
And then give us an idea of sort of costs and things for
So
By the hour?
To use our board game library, we charge £2 per hour per person with the 4th hour free. And there are concessions for children, OAPs, students, which is just £1 an hour to use our board game library.
Oh, right. So you might get grannies in playing Operation.
Yeah.
Practising their upcoming operations.
Well, we say there's a game for everyone, and people often come in with as families or student groups or young adults or anything really, a group of friends. So, yeah, lots of games for different people.
What's the concept with the tables? There's like 2 layers in here. There's a bottom layer and an upper layer.
That's so that you don't get interrupted while you're eating. You can eat and drink as well as play games, so there's plenty of space to put all your things in.
Good idea.
Yeah.
I've seen that before. So come down, we're at 21A Windsor Street in Uxbridge, the D20 Cafe. What's the opening times again?
So we are open 12 till 10:30 every day except for Wednesday.
Oh, right, Sundays as well.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Great. Get Wednesdays off.
Yes,
this
Wednesdays
is great.
Off, yeah.
Wednesday seems to be a bit of a closing day in Uxbridge. There's a few shops that close on Wednesday.
Yeah, we noticed that, so we thought we'd copy the pattern.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Michelle, for showing us around. This is the new D20 Games Cafe. We should definitely come here and check it out. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And I learned something as well. D20 refers to a 20-sided dice used in game playing. Once again, their website, d20cafe.co.uk. Now, I'm always amazed how far in advance people book Halloween and Christmas events. Let's find out what the plan is in Uxbridge. So, we welcome back Kira Gibson from the Uxbridge BID, the Uxbridge Business Improvement District. Hello again, Kira.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Now, let's just summarise the summer. It's not quite finished yet, but we've had pirates, first of all, pirate themes. How did that... I must admit I wasn't here for most of it. I was on holiday, but how did it go?
It was brilliant. 2 weeks of pirate fun and madness. We had a giant pirate ship in the town. We had the free soft play for kids every Wednesday. We had pirates roaming on little scooters. We had our mermaids.
Yes.
Little food market. It was great fun. Our treasure trail, very popular. Every Sunday we had free shows for kids. Everyone loved it. It was great.
But you're here to uncover the secrets of forthcoming events.
Yes.
I can't believe you plan so far in advance, but I suppose you have to book these things, don't you?
Because then we get all the best performers, you see.
Yeah.
So we've got to stick with it.
So what's coming up first?
Well, Saturday the 24th of September, we have a giant whale. As part of a National Recycling Week, we're going to be doing a campaign on the Saturday with the incredible team from Circa Rumbarba, who have this huge, and when I say huge, it is like 10-metre long whale puppet that's beautiful, and it's all interactive. So the kids go inside the whale, a la Pinocchio, and have a story about a turtle and how the turtle has eaten a bit of plastic and what we can do and how we save the turtle and how we can reduce plastic in our oceans. Just so beautifully constructed, and the puppets are gorgeous, and you have an actor in there doing it dressed as a diver, and it's just beautiful. And each session is around half an hour. It will be a ticketed event, so all of the tickets will be available from our website. I haven't set up the link just yet because we're still waiting on a few things, but...
Stand by for that one. And then are we into Halloween from there?
We are, yes. So we are doing this year Undead Uxbridge.
Right.
Which is great. So it's Thursday the 27th, Friday the 28th and Saturday the 29th of October from 11am to 5pm. We will have a zombie assault course, a army truck, a real life British army truck. This thing is amazing. It's 18 tons. It is epically cool. Inside it with a Nerf attack zombie game. We're going to have secret agents who may or may not be from sort of Area 51, secret government ops, post-apocalypse, teaching kids how to survive the zombie apocalypse. It's a very important thing to know.
It is.
We've also got brain surgery, post-apocalyptic brain surgery, which is pumpkin carving.
Ah, yes.
And then obviously you have post-apocalypse. You've also snot everywhere, haven't you? Toxic snot. So we've got slime making as well. And then on that Friday as well, we've got Ghostbusters versus zombies. So we will have the Ghostbusters team and car whirring back into Uxbridge, and they will be chasing and hunting the zombies within the town centre between the hours of about 11 and 4. So that'll be great.
And then after Halloween, I still can't believe you're booking this far, but then Christmas.
Yeah. Well, obviously our Christmas light switch on is again, it's Saturday the 19th of November this year.
Right.
We'll be welcoming everybody back into Uxbridge Town Centre once again. Last Christmas light switch on was amazing. It was so cool. You and I were standing there, weren't we, when the fireworks went off? I remember turning around and be like, oh, hello. And it was brilliant. So we've got fireworks again this year.
Yeah.
We have a little bit of a winter wonderland magical theme this year. Lovely animatronic snowman coming in to the Christmas market, which will obviously be back in situ for 5 weeks, which will be lovely. May or may not have a little bit of a surprise that we're working on as well. That will be in. And then we have, for the light switch on alone, our incredible LED drummers coming back in, who were amazing. We've got Inca the polar bear coming to join us.
Yeah.
Compliments boxes, which is new and very cool.
What are these?
Oh, well, they are two very dapper gents in their tuxes and Christmas hats complimenting you on your Christmas attire and spreading Christmas joy.
Oh, great.
And they will be welcoming everybody into the market on that Saturday. Amazing performers, lots of live music. Stretching the boat out this year, we're going to have 2 stages.
Oh, I say.
So we're going to have one main stage and one stage in the Christmas market. Both will have live music on throughout the day, spreading that festive cheer. We will obviously have our lovely mayoress turning on the lights. We haven't asked her yet, so I better get that one in.
If you're not careful, she might do a keep fit class while she's on stage.
Oh my goodness, that will just, if it's cold, we'll need it.
Yeah.
And obviously Father Christmas as well, which will be brilliant. As always, the most popular part of every year is seeing Santa. Santa will be approaching from a different direction than the roof. No doubt he'll land with the reindeer and the sleigh and be escorted on by our lovely Uxbridge BID security ambassadors, I'm sure.
I'm sure, yeah.
So, and then, Christmas light switch on leads to 4 more weeks of Christmas fun. Every Sunday in December, we have the amazing magical story elves who came in for Pirate Fest. Joining us, which will be great. So they will be doing, each Sunday they'll be doing a different Christmas show. So we've got one with Elsa and Olaf, we've got one with, the snowman, finding the snowman's hat, another one, Winter Wonderland and the Winter Witch, and just lovely. So we've got 3 sessions with them. Every Sunday they'll be around till 11 a.m, 3 p.m. Again, all free in the Christmas market, on the stage. Everybody joins in. And this year, every Saturday, we're going to have live music and sort of fun. And then on the last Saturday before, which I believe is the 17th of December, we'll have another little mini light switch on again with some more performers and stuff. Yeah. The Grinch may or may not be running around the town. So no, it'd be great.
People love a little picture for Instagram, don't they? With a photo window or whatever, photo frame.
Definitely. It's a selfie frame, and everybody loves meeting the characters. So that's one of the best parts of my job, actually. When it comes to the events, is I always walk around with the characters, literally just crowd control, just in case they need me. They never do, but because people are always so great about it. But I love watching people's faces and watching their faces just light up when they see these characters. It just makes my day.
To just wander into sort of Poundland with a straight face, accompanied by random
We did that
characters.
last year. We had a Christmas pudding, and she made me laugh so much. It was Larry Fairy and the Christmas pudding. And it's obviously it's an enchanted Christmas pudding that decided to make a break for it into M&S.
Oh.
And I have a video of a fairy screaming at a pudding, screaming "Come back, pudding," running through M&S, and all you can hear is me literally laughing my head off in the background, because I had no idea they were making a break for it, and I couldn't stop laughing. I really got the giggles. It was so much fun, and I think people could see me laughing, and then they saw why I was laughing, and they were laughing, and it was a great day, that one. I loved the performers we had that day. They were just absolutely fab.
Yeah, that's good. Is there a Christmas market with food and things on over Christmas?
Yes, there is. So the Christmas market starts, I think, on the Wednesday of that week of the switch on. So they'll sort of be trading from then. But obviously the official day is always the 19th of November when everything starts. Largely a foodie sort of market. I think, I talk to lots of other areas, and their Christmas markets are also largely foodie. I think that's sort of what people respond best to. Be lovely to have it back. It's just
the
such
smells,
a nice
isn't it, as well?
It's the smells. It's the mulled wine and the German sausages, and it's just in the churros. It's lovely. It's so nice to have. And, the wooden chalets, once they're up in the town centre, it just makes you feel festive.
If there was some way of doing virtual skiing, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? Well, there's some dates for the diaries there. The Whale, and we've got Halloween, and we've got Christmas. So lots of work put in there with the big team. Is it mainly you, or is there you have helpers as well, booking stuff?
So no, I do all of the booking in and all of that, and then obviously on the days we've got a team and everybody kind of flits in and out, and they're brilliant. Great. So I think that's it. I enjoy all of this as much as everyone else does, even though you're the organiser. I have as much fun and I get as excited when the performers come in and when the Christmas starts and Halloween, whatever it is, I get as excited as everyone else, and I love having the Christmas market back in. And it's going to be a tight Christmas for everyone. The cost of living is going up exponentially, and it's going to be a difficult year, but I think to come in, walk around, grab yourself a cup of mulled wine, it's those small things in life, I think, that kind of get you through difficult times. That's Christmas cheer. It's just nice to come in, be in the town, be with other people, enjoy the music, enjoy the performers.
Sing some carols, maybe.
Yeah, join in with the bands have a dance, Yeah. Why not?
Well, thanks, Kira, for coming in and telling us all about what's coming up in Uxbridge Town Centre. That's great.
Thank you so much. And we can't wait to see you all there. We'll see you at the Whale.
Yeah, and as always, on the website, Love Uxbridge, place to find out all the information. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's been a busy time for the fire service locally, so let's catch up with them and see how things have been going. So it's great to be joined by Simon Hall, who's station officer at Hillingdon Fire Station. Hi, Simon.
Hello, Steve. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. So it's been a bit of a hot summer, hasn't it? Has it been worse than the previous years?
It has. Looking back, 2018 was the year that stuck out for us. I mean, that was particularly busy. This year seems to be a lot busier than that, and warmer for consistently more time, I would say. In relation to that, that's obviously made us a lot busier operationally here at Hillingdon and across London Fire Brigade. More particularly during the day, we've been very busy with grass fires. Generally, you'll come in the morning, and throughout the day, we will probably be attending multiple grass fires. I think my record for one day is around about 8 in a day, which, if you bear in mind, take a minimum of 30 minutes per incident. Your whole day is roughly taken up by dealing with that sort of an incident. So we've certainly been busy across the area. And you probably heard a lot of those incidents in the news, I'd imagine, have you?
Exactly, yeah. And how are those mainly starting? Are they bits of glass, or are they barbecues and things being left?
There's a combination of all those things, really, plus, unfortunately, deliberate. In fact, I would say 50% around about that are down as deliberate, which obviously isn't great given the circumstances that we're already busy. A lot of the incidents we're getting is because people are sort of disposing of barbecues and what we call controlled burnings, as in a bonfire, not almost realising that, number one, there's a bit of a wind and that everything is to dry, whereas normally what would probably not be a fire is just made 10 times worse by catching onto hedges, garden sheds, fences, you name it. That's often a common one. And as I say, the deliberate fires have been keeping us busy as well, unfortunately.
Yeah. You have to explain this to me a bit technically, but I don't know. For example, in a remote location in a field, is it always possible to connect to a hydrant, or are you having to use water from streams or whatever to put these fires out?
No, you're right. It's not possible to connect unless the fire appliance, fire engine is very close to a hydrant, which generally are located near the houses and the roads. So what we tend to do is we've got one tank of water on one fire engine, obviously, and that'll give us around about 5 minutes of water, and that gives us 1,400 litres. That won't last long, so if you've got a substantial fire, which is sort of bigger than, say, 10, 20 square metre, we're looking at struggling for water supplies. And plus, if a fire is in a field, we can't always get hose over to that field anyway. So we're having to walk on foot with what we call backpacks, which is just like a water rucksack backpack, which we go over there with, which is a portable piece of equipment, and grass beaters, which we'll just deal with a fire with. So again, probably at least 50% of our calls we can't get hose to. So it proves real hard work and a tricky incident to get to, really.
So general message, I suppose, to people will be careful with barbecues, disposing of those when you're out doing a picnic or whatever.
Exactly, yeah, disposing of them in the correct way. And to be honest, really, if it's in an area where it shouldn't be, it's not using them in the first place. A lot of businesses have now stopped selling disposable barbecues, and this time of year, that's something we've been recommending as well as a fire brigade, because obviously people are using them in the wrong fashion. If people are sensible with them, say in their own properties, that's a different thing. But using them in public spaces and where there's open land, and then not disposing of them correctly afterwards, i.e. just leaving them in the grass, is a hazard not only for sort of pets and people to tread on, but as we've just said, it causes fires as well, yes.
So looking back over the last sort of few months, have you had any interesting call-outs which were perhaps technically challenging, or you maybe got to use bits of kit that you don't normally use?
Sure, yeah. In particular, the one we attended from Greenwatch here at Hillingdon was a large 10-pump fire and fairly close to Heathrow Airport, which was at Cranford Park. So we got sent there from it. It's a little way from here. What I could see from Cranford Lane was large parts of Heathrow Airport Northern Runway, which, as you probably know, isn't too far from there, covered in smoke. So that in itself poses a problem for the airport, and that incident we were at for about 4 or 5 hours, and that was certainly the largest grass fire that I've attended in this area sort of over the whole summer, really. The problem with that being it was, again, in a remote location. It was spreading fast due to the wind picking it up. In terms of equipment from that, we don't often use what we call 4x4. It's basically a Land Rover. We had to request that all the way from Maidenhead, which is from Berkshire Fire Service. So again, that's come from a fair distance out just to use a 4x4 vehicle to get across the land and to assist us with that, which actually made a big difference in getting water to the fire.
Yeah. And I guess you get called to a few humorous or funny call-outs, stuck in lift or ring stuck on finger maybe. I mean, have you had any of those in the last few months?
Definitely, we had a cat on a roof in Southall in July. And to be honest, what you tend to find with cats is they do, funny enough, they do make their own way down. So as with that incident, that was resolved fairly easily. We get called to cats fairly often in different sort of in sheds or stuck on roofs. As I say, and it generally is owners that are worried about the cat. In terms of other amusing incidents, I'm just trying to wrap my brains. We've had people stuck in the lift at Brunel University fairly recently. That's a fairly common one.
And as firefighters, how do you normally get them out? Are you having to manually open the doors somehow or wind them down?
Yes, manually opening the doors is usually the best way to do it. What happens is if the lift gets stuck in between floors, as it were, the door isn't always apparent and we can't open the door. So then what we will do is wind the lift usually downwards to the floor below.
Yeah.
Via the lift motor room, which will take longer. And once the door's level with the floor, we can use the correct keys to get the person out.
Yeah. Now, I suppose not everybody knows that you run a cadets team there at the Hillingdon Fire Station. Can you tell us a bit about that? What sort of ages you need to be and what sort of things they get up to?
Yeah, sure. So cadets are 14 to 17. So they meet on a Wednesday night, and generally it's often young people who are interested in joining the service as well, or not always that, but generally that's often what happens. And we've had quite a few successful cadets who are now firefighters in London Fire Brigade who have come through that system, which is always a good thing to see. As I say, they meet Wednesday nights and they do training in the yard. It's a structured programme which doesn't actually involve our crews as such who are working in the fire station at Hillingdon. So obviously we're required for operational incidents. There's a separate team who are trainers for the cadets who work for London Fire Brigade, obviously, and they train the cadets. They work in groups of around 10 young people per session. And as I say, that happens, they meet once a week.
And obviously it's that time of year when teens are getting their exam results. What qualifications do firefighters need to get in? Right,
so what I say is best for this is when we recruit via the London Fire Brigade website, and you can find all details on qualifications on recruitment drives on our website. And this can change between each recruitment drive. So our website is london-fire.gov.uk. If you go onto the careers section on that, that'll give you the latest information on each recruitment drive. And what we are looking for is ideally for people to have a driving licence for a private car at time of joining. And then what we do provide is LGV training from there. Also our shift patterns, if I mention those to you now, that what we do operationally. So we do 2 day shifts from 09:30 to 2000, 8 o'clock in the evening. So that'll be 2 days of that. And then we do a night shift from 2000 in the evening to 09:30 the next morning, which is obviously quite a long shift. Then we do another night shift of the same the night after, followed by 4 days off duty after that.
In some ways, quite a savage shift pattern, isn't it? But you get those 4 days off, so that's quite good.
That's right, yeah. Particularly after the night duties, we have to be out of the station within 60 seconds from receiving a call. So at any time, it can be quite a stressful shift, and obviously night shifts in particular, it's not what you're used to. It's 3 or 4 calls during the night. That can be the shift really that people aren't so used to working on. Yes.
I mean, how do you sleep in a night shift if you're just kind of got one eye open waiting for the bell to ring?
No, it's not. It's not really what you call sleep. It is. It's like you say. Just you're still on alert, and as soon as all the lights come on and what we call the bells or the mobilising system goes, we have to be out very quickly. We'll get the address come through on a printer, and we'll be out very quickly for that, as you'd expect. That's what we're here to do.
Yeah. All right. Well, the bells didn't ring while we were on that. That's great.
No, we're okay today. That's right. Yeah. I'm sure there's something being installed this afternoon.
Thanks for that, and we'll talk soon. Cheers, Simon.
Great. Cheers, Steve. Thanks for your call.
Have a good day. All right. Take care. Who needs a bit of laughter right now? I'm sure we all do. So Sean Doughty is here, who is now the manager of the Comedy Bunker. And if you've not been for a while, it's now at Uxbridge Golf Club in Ickenham. Hello, Sean.
Yes, hello, Steve. How are you doing? Good?
I'm all right, yes. So, bit of a break in the Comedy Bunker, but you're back on the 9th of September, I understand.
Yes, that's correct. There were never going to be any shows in August. And because things were so quiet in July, I actually cancelled the shows in July. But we actually had a wonderful one-off show in July. Omid Jalili came down on the 27th to do his Edinburgh Work in Progress, his preview show. But it wasn't scheduled. It was a very last-minute thing. And we had a big turnout for that. But I realised after that a lot of people would be away. So there hasn't been anything since the whole of August.
Who have we got coming up on the 9th of September?
I'm an African comedian called Funmi Omateo. And he's done many TV appearances in the past. And he's supported by 2 people who are regulars at the Comedy Store, a chap called Paul Thorne and a lady called Fiona Ridgewell. And I've known Fiona for years. She and I started on the circuit about the same time, but she's younger and prettier than me, and she's doing very well at the Comedy Store. Paul is slightly older. He's opening, and he MCs at the store, but he also performs, and Fiona's doing the middle set. And
of course, there's meals available at the golf club beforehand if you're interested.
Yes, the show starts at 8 and generally ends between 10 and 10:30. We have 3 acts and we have an MC. But if anyone wants to come down beforehand, I mean, I've had some lovely meals there. And in fact, we had a barbecue the night that Omid Jalili was there, and that went down very well. Very tasty food and very good value. Yeah, you can come down. I think it's open from 6 o'clock for food.
And then going forward across the autumn, who's coming up?
So the bunker is twice a month, generally on a Friday, the 2nd and the 4th Friday of the month. So on the 23rd of September, we've got bunker favourite Bobby Davro, who normally comes about once a year. He doesn't need a lot of introduction. He used to have his own TV show. He's pretty well known. He does impressions. He sings. In fact, he could do the whole evening on his own. I mean, he doesn't really need a support act. He's a fantastic showman. He loves entertaining. He can't stop himself performing. He probably doesn't need to, but he just loves entertaining people. And it's a great night at the bunker. So, I mean, I think the nights will be great too, but he's like my star of the season, is Bobby. And he's being supported by a couple of people also whom I know from the circuit, a lady called Diane Spencer. So she's very funny. She's opening act, and the middle act is a chap called Benji Waterstones. He's an NHS doctor and psychiatrist, and he's just published a book about his experiences in the NHS. And then on the 7th of October, the headliner is Robert White. And Robert White came to prominence. He was one of the finalists in Britain's Got Talent a few years ago. And he's a very unusual a very quirky comedian. I've met him on a number of occasions. He dresses a bit like Tintin, if you can remember. He wears a little waistcoat and braces, and he's got this ginger quiff. So he looks a bit like Tintin as well. And he plays the piano, and he's absolutely outrageous, and you never know quite what he's going to do. He might even throw a tantrum and walk off stage in the middle of the show, but it might all be part of the show. You just never know what to expect with him. The second person in October is a chap called Stephen Bailey. I've seen him perform a number of times, and he's delightful. He's from Manchester, very entertaining, flamboyant, very funny, and he's done a lot of TV work in the last couple of years. He started off as a warm-up man. Many of the people that I've booked to the bunker are people that I've met, but not all. But Stephen started off working as a warm-up man for comedy shows. And, if you've ever been to a recording of a TV or radio show, you'll know, especially with a TV show, there's often long gaps when the audience get a bit restless when the cameras are moved around and things. And that's how Stephen started his career. And then he started performing comedy on his own. And I first met him in an upstairs room in a pub in Brentford about 5 years ago, performing to an audience of about 25 people. And I knew then that he was going to be great. But the most well-known name we've got on Thursday, the 24th of November, we managed to get Scott Capurro. He's been around for a while. He's another sort of outrageously camp comedian. He's a lovely bloke and really very funny. And many years ago, I saw him performing at a club that was called Stop the Pigeon, which was in Field End Road in Eastcote, when it was run by the person who had the Comedy Bunker before the person who sold it to me. He's sort of been involved with the Comedy Bunker for years and years.
Are you still out gigging yourself on the circuit?
Yes, I am. It's quite difficult to balance both. And I generally, when I do gig, unless I gig with someone I know who knows about what I do, I try not to tell people at the gigs when I'm performing as Sally First. I try not to mention that I run a comedy venue as well. I find it gets a bit awkward because sometimes they ask me for spots. I gig about twice a week at the moment.
Remind us of the website for the bunker again.
Right, www.comedybunker.co.uk. But if you put in Comedy Bunker Uxbridge, it's Uxbridge Golf Club, but it's actually in Ickenham. There's plenty of parking, and the people that run it are really lovely and very supportive of the shows. They're a lovely team and really helpful.
Well, I shall probably try and head along, I think, on the 9th.
So I think it's £16.50.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good value, because you always get to see a good quality headliner, and it's a really nice night.
We've got a brand new guest on the podcast coming up next. Navina Abhvani is a local poet. So first off, Navina, perhaps you can explain a bit about your background, because it's quite interesting, isn't it?
My background is that you laugh at this, yeah? But I used to be a fitness instructor and also a nutritionist. And then I suffered this severe nerve disease and it's kind of cancer, which made me disabled. And I went through a lot of agony at that time and quite a lot of mental feelings and emotions, stress, depression, call it what you like. And it took me a long time to get through that. But the one thing that helped me was finding a way to express my feelings. This was poetry. And from there on, I found more and more interest in poetry and then developed my own style and worked from there. That's kind of my background.
And how would you describe your style?
My style of poetry is very powerful. So it focuses on the injustices, because I feel I've suffered injustices and I don't want anyone else to suffer injustices. And the way I write my poetry is in a very contemporary style. So I use a new style at the moment that I'm experimenting with, which is very fragmented style. So I don't do long sentences, for example, or anything like that, because I want the reader to try and pin it together and develop what they feel from it. But that's not always my style. This is just one form that I'm working with. So that's kind of a little bit about my style of poetry that I'm experimenting with.
And your sort of mission, if you like, is to try and open up the world of poetry to people who aren't really aware of it, maybe.
What I want to do is to make poetry more accessible to the community. That's key to me. I know from my school days, we were put off from poetry because it was all the classics and we never understood it. So that's what I really want to do, is to make it more accessible to the public and the community without frightening them that they have to go through reading the standard classics, the standard flowery stuff. I want to show to them how simple it is and use it as a way of expressing their emotions, or good, bad, whatever emotions they have.
Well, let's hear an example of one of your poems then. This one is called Enrolment. Tell us about this one then.
Thank you, Steve. I'd written this last September when I enrolled for a mental health advisor course. And, well, I thought it would be nice to read it out again as September is round the corner, just wanting to give inspiration to others to enroll on courses, since there's such a wide range available out there. And I think we should all make the most of what there is. So, enrollment. Eager beavers, September cometh, full of promises. Yet again, new skills to wither, fresh hopes, friendships, relationships. Lonely stress bearers, all aboard, eager beavers. Night owls, metamorphosized to wise owls, flocked in foyer, blindly, crowd following, some leisurely, some hurriedly. Course list, A to Z, Arabic to zoology, night owls. Oh, my eager beaver, my night owl, you lost yourself, eyes feasting on him. Japanese, your chosen skill, for this term, now lost. Dream a while and gaze into those eyes. Oh, my eager beaver, my night owl. Oh, my night owl, your determination, boldness, neither looking left nor right, proudly announcing creative writing. For 60 you be, ready to discover the pleasures of the written word. Oh, my night owls, oh, my night owls.
So that's a poem about joining the new term or enrolling on a night class or a new, perhaps university even.
Yes. It's trying to look at all the different types of courses that people could go to along the different ranges and just kind of giving that inspiration, but equally highlighting parts that we could go wrong and the parts that we could really concentrate on.
Yeah. So do you go out and do poetry readings as well? I mean, how long have you been into poetry?
Oh, probably about 8 years, I'd say. And I do poetry readings. I like to work within the community for the underprivileged. So I do a lot of that, but I enjoy it.
Yeah, it's an interesting medium, isn't it, to get across points?
Yeah, I think it's a wonderful word, and I think you can start off with the simplest word and work from that.
Are there any tips you have for anybody thinking of getting into poetry? Are there sort of some simple poems that you could start to study, or any poets that you'd recommend?
So the first one is that if you want to get into poetry, just start off with a simple word. You could look at the world outside, nature, for example, you might think, okay, there's a bit of sunshine there, there's a little bit of grass that I like. The grass is parched, perhaps. So just try and string those words together, play around with them to see what you come with, and just experiment. And gradually, the more you experiment, the more you find these cells sticking over. So that's the first one. The second one, in terms of poets that I would recommend, is Benjamin Zephaniah. His poetry is simple but quite powerful. It's quite easy to catch on to. And he did a series called Life in Rhymes. That is very well presented. And in that, he brings on new poets who equally represent the various issues, and they're again in a very simplified manner. I just want to reach out to people who in the community, whether it be in hospitals, whether they're disabled, blind, disadvantaged, or anyone else, school children, anyone else. My aim is just to show what it's done for me and landed me where I have. And if it's helped me, why can it not help others? That's my simple aim.
So you'd say poetry has helped you come to terms almost with your disability?
Yeah, I mean, I actually suffer from a rare nerve disease, which is not curable. And it's actually nerve cancer. It's very rare in the UK. It occurs to probably about 2 people in the whole of the UK population. I just happen to be one of them.
Wow.
It's taken me so long to laugh about it, yeah. But so they tried all the standard treatments, chemotherapy, etc., hence the wonderful hair. Nothing works. And so there is gradual deterioration, which then leads you to a wheelchair and so on. So it was quite a traumatic period for me, not knowing what I could do with myself. You know, here I am. I've been fit all my life. I've been a fitness instructor. I've done performances on fitness and so on. And again, performance is something I really enjoy. I've done nutrition, my business are built all around that. And then suddenly, what do I do with myself? I'm stuck in this scenario. Where do I go from here? I can't do the simplest of things like cooking or even walk around. And then gradually, obviously I had some psychotherapy and so on. But then there's only so much you can have before the words seem repeatable, like any counseling session. And then you've got to take the onus on. And that's when I discovered, what's this poem about? And then I went on from there. And then I found, I've got a purpose in life. And when you have a purpose in life, that changes things, regardless of your disability, your eyesight or whatever. You've got a purpose in life that drives you on and keeps you moving.
Well, let's catch up again, Navina. And if you're listening and want to join in, perhaps by sharing a poem that you've written, or you want to offer a starting line for a poem that we can join in with, maybe, leave a comment and we'll get back to you. Thanks, Navina.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for listening.
From poetry to theatre. Based in Useley, Outline Theatre is a community theatre company. And here's Robert Jones with some history of the company and also what's in store.
My name is Robert Jones. I'm director of Outline Theatre Company, and I'm here today to tell you just a little bit about the work of the group, once referred to as a hidden gem in the heart of Useley. I like that description, although I hope we're not quite so hidden these days. We're based, Outline Theatre, at St Matthew's Church, Useley, right in the heart of town. When did our work begin there? Well, some 34 years ago, 1988, Outline began its life when a group of local Christians from several different local churches banded together. Our shared passion was to share our faith through the medium of theatre. And from those very early beginnings, The work of the group expanded, membership expanded, and so did the theatre training and the repertoire. The company began performing some of the classics of children's theatre: The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, Tom's Midnight Garden, and The Wind in the Willows. The company then began to tour its work to local theatres, local churches, and open spaces. There's a long tradition of Outline performing in the open air. We have taken our productions to Black Park, Cranford Park, and also the lovely gardens of Southland's Arts Centre. Even on a happy occasion some 30 years ago now, when we performed drama open air in the grounds of St Albans Cathedral to a crowd of over 5,000 people. Happy memories. Outline has developed a passion for writing and developing its own material for performance, often adapting classic stories by famous authors for stage production. For example, Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol back in 2007 and Great Expectations in 2012. We also love at Outline to tell the story of our local area's history, its people, the people of Hillingdon, and particularly around West Drayton. In 2014, our production of Wheat to War told the story of West Drayton and Useley, from the time of arable farms and fields, through the Industrial Revolution to the savage war of 1914-18, when so many of our local boys marched off to war to fight for king and country. And more recently, the company has delved into the genre of the creepy story, famous ghost stories to chill the spine on a winter's evening. These have included The Monkey's Paw and Whistle and I'll Come to You, My Lad, and more recently, A Warning to the Curious by M.R. James. So, what are the next few months? Well, Outline plan to perform a series of radio plays to live audiences, a new experience for the group, and then a local production, Census, based on the extraordinary exhibition at Uxbridge Library on the census of 1911, bringing to life local characters from every walk of life. In 2023, the company will be developing a new spine-chilling production for Compass Theatre. So, stay tuned for developments.
Thanks, Robert. And what an amazing voice. Now, a few what's-ons for September. Sunday the 11th of September, Friends of Eastcote House and Gardens are running a Heritage Open Day, 11 till 4. They'll have a classic car rally, craft stalls, second-hand book sale and live music. Cranford Park have a community dig from the 9th to the 18th of September. They're trying to uncover more about the kitchen gardens and the glass houses. And Christchurch in Uxbridge is 50 years old. So 24th and 25th of September, they'll be celebrating with an exhibition, a faked quiz evening with fish and chips, drama and music. Must just mention one more thing. We're running a community telephone mailbox service here at Uxbridge FM called Hillingdon Buzz. If you're part of a local club, society or charity and you don't want to give out your personal number, for £5 a month we'll set you up with a phone mailbox so people can leave messages for you and they'll get forwarded on. Ping us an email, studio@uxbridgefm.co.uk. Right, that's all for this month. Do join us on social media, just search Uxbridge FM. Thanks to Chris Allen for helping out and Luca Nieri for the music, and you of course for listening. Catch you next month.